There is an awful lot of Liverpool transfer news right now, which to me seems absolutely bonkers because we're only in November, but we're hearing links to Tchouaméni, Kudus, Rafinha. There's also an update on Trent Alexander-Arnold going to Madrid potentially, saying that he is open. And there's also Barcelona links to Mohamed Salah. Now, we have got an awful lot to get through. It's probably going to be a bit of a longer video than usual. Make sure you go down, drop a like if you haven't already. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel. The first bit of news I want to start off regarding Liverpool is that Aaron Ramsdale is set to undergo surgery on a fractured finger and is likely to miss both fixtures against Liverpool, which is, of course, the League Cup quarter-final of the Carabao Cup, which I believe is scheduled to be played in December. And, of course, their fixture just after the international break. Now, everything seems to be going Liverpool's way. Now, if you're a Liverpool fan right now, you must be on cloud nine. Best team in the league, best team in the Premier League, best team in the Champions League. Defensively, so good. The midfield balance of Gravenberch and McAllister, Curtis Jones, strong. And you've got an absolute machine in Mohamed Salah, as well as Núñez, Jota, Gakpo, Diaz. Their team is ridiculous. They're the best team to watch. They're defensively so good. And then you get bits of news like this. Now, I'll be honest, I do expect Liverpool as an absolute bare minimum to win silverware this season. I think they're the league favourites right now, but this is the sort of news that obviously you never hope a player gets injured, but it's unfortunate for Ramsdale. I don't know who their backup goalkeeper is going to be, but he will come in and that now puts Liverpool would, of course, already favourites, but it now puts an even bigger opportunity and a chance for Liverpool to get through to the next round of the League Cup and, of course, win that fixture after the international break. Now, I wanted to start by saying Real Madrid and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Very, very interesting bit of transfer news. Trent said, and I quote, a couple of months ago that he will stay at Liverpool regarding the big kind of key word in what he said was trophies. Now, Arne Slot has come in. Liverpool are top of the Premier League. They're top of the Champions League. They look one of the best sides in Europe. They are the best team in the world right now for me. 5 points clear of rivals Manchester City in the Premier League. And they are, the only team in the Champions League to have an unbeaten record. So they are on track to essentially win silverware, which will kind of question Trent Alexander-Arnold's does he leave, does he not? Now, I personally believe, and this is just my opinion as a rival fan, Trent Alexander-Arnold right now, Trent is the biggest miss to Liverpool. Now, let me explain why. Salah's 32, Van Dijk's 32. Both of those in isolation are world-class players. We're talking about one of the greatest wingers / forwards in Premier League history and one of the greatest centre-backs in history. Now, as fantastic as they are on the latter stage of their career. Trent Alexander-Arnold is 24, 25, maybe 26. I think he's 26. He's a couple of years younger than me, which is mad to think. Now, he is a Scouser, Liverpool born and bred, and 4-5 years younger than the other two, and is a homegrown talent. I personally think Trent would be the biggest miss. Of course, all three of them are... I don't think you can replace Salah with one player. I think you need to bring in two. Is there a like-for-like centre-back out there for Van Dijk? The closest one's Saliba for me, but I don't think he's as good as Van Dijk at present. He may be a couple of years down the line. He's also only 22. So the Trent Alexander-Arnold news coming out from Liverpool Transfer Room on Twitter, they have come out and reported saying reports from Spain are claiming that Real Madrid already know that Trent Alexander-Arnold will not renew his contract with Liverpool. Now, I don't necessarily believe this. I think the way they're playing right now, the fact that Liverpool are top of the league in the Premier League and the Champions League, the fact that they're in the League Cup quarterfinals and they're only 2 games away from being in the final, or sorry, 3 games. I think the semi-finals home and away. So they're 3 games from being in a chance to win silverware. I think that the fact that they're doing so well will question and put major doubts in him wanting to leave Liverpool. Right now, they are the best team by a country mile. Arne Slot has won 15 of his opening 17 games. I personally believe, Fabrizio Romano has reported out a number of times that Trent Alexander-Arnold is open to signing a new contract, providing they win silverware. That's what Fabrizio said. So Fabrizio Romano is a very credible journalist. The way that they're playing right now, I don't think this is when Trent Alexander-Arnold will join Real Madrid. People have said he's not going to leave. He's a scouser, etc. Steve McManaman did the same. He's considered a Real Madrid. They absolutely love him out there. He's a Real Madrid legend. Multiple trophies won there. So I think he personally would be a huge miss. But at present, I don't think he leaves Liverpool. I just don't think he does. Now, another bit of news that's come out with regards from Joseph Agboli, I believe is the name. Now, Liverpool Transfer Room have reposted this onto their socials saying Mohamed Salah and Liverpool remain far apart in contract negotiations. Salah has been in fine form with Arne Slot's side, becoming the first player this season to reach 10 goals and 10 assists across all competitions, which is absolutely ridiculous. The guy is a monster. He's a machine. The numbers are scary. Replacing him, you are going to need 2 forwards. Now, forwards that have been heavily linked with Liverpool in the last couple of years, the likes of Nico Williams, the likes of Mohamed Kudus. Kudus, in terms of the way Salah plays, probably isn't too far away in terms of overall kind of ability that Salah has. Of course, the output is nowhere near the level of Mohamed Salah. He is genuinely, for me, one of the best players we have ever seen in the Premier League. The fact that he's got 10 goals and 10 assists this season, and we are in November, is just bonkers. Now, what sort of players could come in? We'll start by looking at Mohamed Kudus. Now, he has had a very, very mixed up and down kind of time at West Ham. 24 years of age, won a couple of league titles of Ajax, 2 goals in 8 appearances this season. Did get a 5-match ban for getting sent off against Tottenham. He is predominantly a right winger, can play on the left. He's got lots of raw pace. So is Salah. They can both cut in on their left. So can Salah. Now, in terms of Mohamed Kudus, I think he would be a good signing for Liverpool for around, £40 million. Last year in the Premier League, he got 8 goals and 6 assists, which is 14 GA and 33. But you are still miles off in terms of replacing the GA from Salah. He got 5 goals in the Europa League last year. In terms of his overall stats per 90 minutes, if we get FB Ref up and look at his numbers, you just can't compare them, to Mohamed Salah in terms of replacing him for a like-for-like change because they're just so far apart. Progressive passes received is low. Tackles is very high. Pass completion is quite low for a wide player. Non-penalty XG, non-penalty goals, assists, they're all relatively low. And if you can see on the right-hand side, the only player of actually of a strong ability is Kvaratskhelia. I always butcher his name. Everyone else, I don't know too many of those players. Obviously, I know Adeyemi, but per 90, it's night and day comparing him to Mohamed Salah, who has been probably the best player in Europe this season. When you look at his overall per 90 numbers, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look at this. This is just obscene. top 9%, top 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, top, 23%. It's bonkers. Another player being heavily linked or was heavily linked to in the summer is Nico Williams. Now, Nico Williams hasn't had the best of starts in La Liga. 11 games played, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 GA and 4 in the Europa League. He's another one in terms of his contract situation. He signed a contract last year, or was it earlier this year, with Athletic Bilbao. It might have been last year, predominantly a left winger, can play on the right. He's got 4 GA overall in 15 games, so he's averaging 1 GA every 4 games. Hasn't had the best of seasons. His best football normally is played in the Copa del Rey. He was instrumental last season with Bilbao, both in the Euros and the Copa del Rey for Spain and Bilbao. His contract situation, his contract expires June 30th, 2027. So by the time we get round to the summer or January, we're looking at around 2.5 to 3 years left in his contract. Do Liverpool go and make a move then? Of course, we know his ability. We saw that against England. Can be a top player. I think to replace a player like Mohamed Salah, you need an out-and-out number 9 who can score you goals, maybe a Victor Gyökeres and a wide player. If you look at comparing, his numbers per 90 this season to Mohamed Salah, yet again, it's night and day. Don't get me wrong that the take-ons, progressive passes received are very high, but non-penalty XG, non-penalty goals, assists are a lot lower than Salah's. So in terms of right now, I don't necessarily think, I know Romano was heavily linking him away to Premier League teams. Chelsea, Liverpool and Arsenal were supposed to be the clubs that were heavily interested. And he potentially could be a player that, I don't think he will join Liverpool personally. Speaking of a player in Spain that could join Liverpool, though, this is coming out from Liverpool.com, which is a Liverpool news site. This is a couple of days ago now. Liverpool transfer news as fresh Tchouaméni claim emerges amid a $52 million. That's about £45 million PSG race. Liverpool transfer news as Tchouaméni is linked to a move to Anfield again. Arne Slot could also make a move for Sevilla defender. For 52 million for Sevilla defender. I believe that was what that headline is there, but it does also mention Tchouaméni, and it goes on to say that Arne Slot is a big admirer of him. While it makes perfect sense that Liverpool might be on the hunt for another midfielder at some point in the near future to bolster their attacks, Spanish outlet, I'm probably going to butcher this name, Vichaz, claim that Madrid are preparing to make a lowball offer for Real Madrid star Tchouaméni. Seems a little far-fetched. So I think personally, if you hear me out on this, that I actually think one of Tchouaméni or Camavinga in the next maybe year or 18 months could leave Real Madrid. I look at the squad they played against Osasuna in a 4-0 win at the weekend, and Carlo Ancelotti rarely plays them both together. Camavinga, for me, is more of an 8. Valverde, for me, is more of an 8. And Jude can be an 8 or a 10. So you look at the bench as well. They had a fairly balanced bench there. Of course, no Tchouaméni. No Tchouaméni. Then you look at the team that played. I think he missed that game due to injury. Vinicius Junior hat-trick as well was absolutely insane. You look at the team that played against AC Milan. Tchouaméni played and Camavinga did not in a 3-1 defeat against AC Milan. Then you look at the team that played against Barcelona in a 4-0 defeat. Tchouaméni played. Camavinga played kind of a in a 3 midfield. but he played out wide. That's the first game in the last 4 they've played together. Then you keep going back to Real Madrid versus Celta Vigo, which was last month. Camavinga played. Tchouaméni did not. Or he might have played in defence that game, actually. But you see how I'm coming from. I think maybe one of those could leave. Now, if Tchouaméni is available, Liverpool have been heavily linked to Martin Zubimendi. He wanted to stay in Spain last year. Do we think that he could be a Liverpool player? I would be very optimistic about Liverpool's season if they bring a player in of Tchouaméni's class, because he really is a top player. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think Trent will be a Madrid player? Do you think Salah will leave? If Salah does leave, is it a Kudus? Is it a Nico Williams? Would you bring in a Gyökeres? And do you think Tchouaméni could be a Liverpool player? Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel. The road to 50k is well and truly on. And I will see you all soon. Thank you all for watching. I am